Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 10:36 a.m. Sunday, the 4th of August 2024. Hello, Charlie. Charlie says hello. Here she is, sitting on top of the laptop, serenading us for our morning readings. Yes, my little one. She was outside in the sun. It's actually warmer outside in the sun than it is in here. But anyway, I'll just carry on. I can't be bothered dragging everything outside. And my lungs are very raspy and I'm struggling, and I've just had copious Ventolin and Seretide, so I'll probably end up getting a hot flush and the shake soon. But anyway, carrying on in psychedelic dreamers world as I do every day, babies, regardless of whatever state of health I'm in, and soldiering on and pushing myself through. It's a bit astonishing at times, if I say so myself. But anyway, we'll carry on reading. Today's reading of the 4th of August, Memories 4th of August 2024, is titled Hagiography. I can't even speak English, never mind write it. Imposter syndrome, am I right? Oh well, I'll cut myself some slack. I'm not perfect. I never pretended to be perfect. I never will be perfect. I am perfect in all my flaws and imperfections, and that's what makes me the Tanya, and sometimes cute and adorable, and sometimes irritating beyond belief, because I'm my own hardest taskmaster. I don't need any critics, because anything you can throw at me, I've already done to myself times 1,000. It's part of my trauma issues, I suppose. Being told you're useless your entire childhood will set awful ingrained train tracks in your brain that just spiral into, incompetence and neglect and ill health. So I'm fighting against it every day in every way. I'm fighting against it. Can you tell? Maybe you can't, maybe you can. It's all in the eye of the beholder. Anyway, hagiography, creativity, and releasing old agonies that no longer serve any purpose. Fly away, ugly agonies of the past. No longer serve any purpose. Mama T has spoken. Babies. All right, here we go. Carrying on. Today's title photo, file photo, whatever they call it on vocal media. Is a photo of a beautiful antique spoon ring by Levi and Salomon that I transmuted. 3 antique spoon rings that I transmuted into rings. Spoons, rather, that I transmuted into rings. And here they are. They're currently, two of them are on display at the Spellbound Mana shop in Capalaba, Central Capalaba. I gave one away as a gift to my homeless friend who gave it away after demanding it. So I'm livid. I'm still livid about that. People who dishonour my gifts piss me off right royally. I can tell you that. And I'm not a miserly person. I'd be a lot more generous, actually, if I had more resources and people wouldn't keep shitting down my neck and dishonouring my few gifts that I bestow upon them. So there is that. Why is that not sitting right? Because I've been sleeping with it still since, I slept in it it was Saturday morning, and yeah, it's all a bit wibbly wobbly. All right, so we carry on reading, my beautiful ones. This is from this morning, 4th of August 2024. 9:11 a.m. Awake, lungs still arduous, a hot cup of tea. Breathe. I woke up with the word postal in my mind, or on my mind, floating through my mind. Postal. Send me a letter, Maria, or a message is coming in the written form. What? Or perhaps it's time I write myself a luscious love letter to remind me of all the wondrous things I am still missing out on, or to anchor me to this plane of existence when I spiral into the abyss of lovelessness and despair. Not so despairing these days, just living my best life, enjoying every moment, every scrap of breath, every kind word and deed, every smile, every flirtation, even if it can't be consummated. Damn it. Even getting used to the CPAP, which is a strain on my lungs, which are used to operating under their own subpar but fiercely determined survivalism. Cough hack. Another random thought floated salubriously through my mind. Are you shining bright in the refracted glory of someone else's light, like a mirror on a disco ball, reflecting others' light, but not fully embodying your own? Or are you the bright, searing light, embodied and flowing in all directions, that is seen, witnessed, curated, and reflected back to you in a harmonious feedback loop that builds and builds into a crescendo of great power and enormously soul nourishing gleams of delight? What? This is my brain trying not to die. Never mind. It will make sense in the end. It always does. That message might not even be for me. I always strive to be authentic and shine my own inner light, even when it was either invisible to other humans, always seen by the animals and all birds and fae though, giggles, or when it was trampled, crushed, and almost obliterated by evil people with no hearts or souls, but their own crass greed, corruption, or inability to see what is most precious and most needed. Soul, truth, courage, love. Sometimes all jumbled in a blend, like an elixir of life, l'chaim. Yes, I was hated and by turns feared that much. For what? For continuously showing up, strutting my stuff, holding my own line, living in harmonic resonance with the divine, carried by the gods to the season of joy, and perhaps the most dangerous epoch of my life, and I survived many others. What does this mean in the broad scheme of all things? No thing. But little one is here, awake, aware. Another day in paradise. What magic and joy will this day bring? An ordinary Sunday. Maybe nothing, maybe something. But whatever it is, it will be my creation, my existence, my soul song, my dance, my light. Let us all shine bright, little ones, under the stars and under that boiling, bright, energetic sun god. Day and night folding into eternity. We've got this. Love you all. Excuse my raspiness. I'm really not travelling too well these past few weeks. But even so, on we go into the light if necessary, but hopefully to stay tethered to planet Earth for a bit longer and just remain in love with life and my true beloved ones. I posted a YouTube video of the song Take a Letter Maria, and I wrote lol because I'm paying attention to my spirit messengers that send me song lyrics or little snippets dredged up from my subconscious. I listened to the song and it was kind of poignant. It doesn't exactly relate to me, so I don't know who the message is for, but it doesn't matter. It's out there. It's out there. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. It's on Vocal Media, and it may resonate with someone. They might have a good old chuckle, or they might think, uh-oh, the gods are watching. And they send messages through me. So don't hate the messenger. Just receive and take appropriate action if necessary. Love you all. It's sent out with no malicious intent, I can assure you. But sometimes it can be powerful and astonishing and even rock my world from time to time when I get very appropriate song lyrics at whatever I'm going through in that moment in the space-time continuum. Yes, we continue on. 4th of August, 2023. I woke up at 7 a.m. The day yawns beyond me. I ache for my dog who had just died 3 days prior. Every cell in my body screams, I want you back, Beauregard. I feel robbed of his beauty, light, love, and strength. I feel deeply furious and traumatized. But I remind myself that his spirit can come to me in a millisecond. I can't clip my fingers. I can barely do this one, and these ones don't work at all. I don't know why that is. I think because I broke my wrist when I was 7. It's nuts, isn't it? All my little flaws and imperfections. If you ever see me clicking with my right hand, I'm faking it, but I'm actually clicking with my left. And I'm trying to look normal, you know. I'm like trying to Fake it till I make it. Oh, it's a bit tragic, people of Earth. But it's one of my cute little quirks. Faking it till I make it. I don't like faking things. I like to be authentic, as I said earlier. But sometimes, you know, one has to kind of move between worlds and appear to be fitting in. Am I right? Nah. I've reached an age and stage in my life that I no longer strive to fit in. If I'm there in a crowd, I'm holding my own, doing my own thing. And sometimes it's confronting, especially to the young. But that's how you do it, babies. Be your own best version of yourself and do your own thing. If others include you and accept you as part of their social circle and celebrate you, you've found your tribe and your vibe, babies. Big kisses to the Brooklyn Standard who tolerate me in all my wild, quirky, sometimes weird ways. I'm segueing from this reading, but I just had a reminder this morning. Sometimes it takes a while for my brain to process realities or even alternate realities. So I didn't write it in my story yesterday. Was it yesterday I wrote? Yes, about, I didn't include it in the story that I wrote yesterday about the young men. Had one tucked under each arm and they were being very sweet indeed. But there was something that happened that I was reminded of this morning, came to me this morning. I don't know if I was, because I can't remember what I was actually doing. As I say, and when I'm in my full dance trance that I get into late in the evening, I do weird, quirky things that I'm not always consciously aware of. So, which is why I delight that they accept me in my quirky ways, because they're well aware that I move in and out of ordinary reality as I move through various phases and winds and of the dance. My energy gets either emblazoned or brought into line. But anyway, it was quite late in the evening when these young fellows approached me. They were nice young men. They weren't threatening like I've had in recent weeks, which, I'm grateful for that. I put special prayers out of protection to make sure that it doesn't happen, but sometimes, my prayers don't work, and I have to go into fight mode. But anyway, it's all good. There was no aggression, no unpleasantness. But the astonishing part was with these young men, I don't know if I was dancing or still sitting. I really can't tell you. But there was this moment, few moments, I guess, when I was just looking up above my head, that my head was up high. And the young men looking me down were both quite tall, or appeared to me tall, because they were standing. And that both their faces, their heads were both looking down at me with such love and awe and respect, actually. But they looked like two tall trees sort of bending down, looking at me, the short little fat old hobbit lady. Oh, what was I doing in that moment? Or was it like, had I left my body or some kind of spiritual, had I literally left, was it like an out-of-body experience? It was a bit odd. Anyway, because I'm a shaman and I'm used to living like this, existing in my body like this, and my mind and my spirit, I just looked up and I just kept smiling at them. And they were looking down at me in the most soul-nourishing, nurturing way, like they were dancing with an old auntie or perhaps a grandmother, certainly probably old enough to be their grandmother, to be honest. The two Toms looking down. Oh, Tom. I had an uncle named Thomas, but I don't really remember him. But anyway, so I think that I briefly thought that. I went, oh, look, there's Tom and looking down upon me. and they seemed so like far above me. And did I slump to the floor or something, or was I still sitting? I must have still been sitting on the couch, you know. Anyway, we stayed like that. I had this image of them just both side by side looking down upon me, their faces looking down to me. It felt like, honestly, it felt like something out of Lord of the Rings, you know. It was like almost like the two towers, Boaz and Joachim in human form. And I was looking up and I'm like, in my mind, because I don't tell them everything I'm thinking because you just look nuts. But in my mind, I'm thinking, smiling up at them and soaking in their sweet agape, platonic, gorgeous love. But I'm thinking, what the fuck? What the fuck? I feel like the child and they feel like the grand, old, powerful elders in this moment. And you know what? On a soul level, perhaps they are. You know, and in that moment, on a soul level, perhaps we had a previous, you know, past life connection and they had been, you know, father figures or something in another life. It was weird. So it went on for a few seconds and then I snapped out of it, or they moved away, or I stood up. I can't honestly. Sometimes I wish I could watch the CCTV of my antics and analyse it myself, because it's like, what actually happened just then, you know? Anyway, there was no harm or no threat and no hostility and no aggression. They were both lovely young men. And half jokingly, I said to one of the Toms that I had actually, he was so drunk, he himself was moving in and out of ordinary reality. And his friend said to him, he's gone, the other Tom. And I said, yeah, we'll have to bring him back. So I was doing this. Earth to Tom. I want you to come back to Earth, Tom. Ground control, back to Earth, which is the second time I've done that in the past week, grounded someone. And I'm like, come on, Tom. Come. I know it's lovely where you are, but you need to come home. You come home to your own body, mind and spirit. And then he just looked at me, the young one, and he said, I'm here. And I was like, that's good, darling. And he goes, oh, he says, oh, you're so, I can't remember what he said exactly. Oh, you're so wonderful, Tanya. And, oh, yes, I think it was that Tom that said that I'm a celebrity. And I said, oh, don't be silly. I'm just a little old lady dancing my dance on my Friday nights every weekend, having my wild dance. I'm not at all a celebrity. And he looked at me and smiled. And I could see he was still kind of semi-entranced, just still a little bit floating in and out. And he looked at me and he said, you're too humble, and smiled, this beautiful smile. So it kind of freaked me out a bit, because I don't like being told that I'm a celebrity, because I'm not. I'm just an ordinary kind of silly old lady who's a bit lonely, who has only one bit of joy, which is my Friday nights dancing, going out, being silly as a wheel, dancing to my favourite rock bands every week, and that sparks me up and gives me enough life force and chi and joy and delight and magic and wonder to get me through the rest of the week, where I fall into, you know, I kind of collapse, because it's good for me to have the exercise, but it also simultaneously kills me. And I'm not complaining. I've been doing this for 14 years, so I know how it works. So, you know, I don't want my dancing to be curtailed or stymied by people who think they're well-meaning, because they will fuck me over and fuck my life completely. I need that dance. I need these magical, spiritual little encounters with other souls that see me. I need them and they need me, and it's an important service I'm actually doing, believe it or not. It's trivial in the broad scheme of things to the uninitiated, but it's also important. It's soul nourishing and it's sweetness, you know. So So I turned to young Tom on my right, who I'd just brought back to ordinary reality. Took a little bit of doing too. And I said to him, "Oh, my darling," I said, "if you were 30 years older, you'd be the one." And just stirring him up, because he was stirring me up about being a celebrity. I think he was quite heartfelt and meant it, but in a way it was, a bit of a wind up. I'm okay with it. It was very sweet. They were very sweet lads. So when I said, "Oh, if you were 30 years older, you'd be the one," he just went, he was so gorgeous, such a sweet boy. And I said to him, also, I said, "Don't stir up this old lady too much." They said, "Oh, why, Tanya?" I said, "Well, my boys," I said, if you stir up that last smothered, tamped down hormone," I said, "that I've had tamped down for 10 years, I said, it will be dangerous." DANGER. Do you understand? And they both went, they were delighted, I was just being silly. If I unleash that last hormone, I'm sure it's not the last hormone actually. I'm just using poetic hyperbole. I'm sure there's a few hormones that have been crushed and ground into some kind of old lady paste, that if I could bottle it and and market it, I'd be a millionaire by now. But anyway, I'm joking about that. I am joking about that. I think I'm joking about that. But anyway, if I release the Kraken, that sexual being that's been locked down for a decade, it has to be with the one who has demonstrated by his beautiful soul and light and consistency and delight and constantly expressing true love for me and fucking meaning it by consistently showing me he absolutely values, cherishes and adores me. That is the one that I will release my potent, long suppressed sexual energy with, hopefully in a really joyous, delightful commingling of passion and romance and spiritual connectivity and delight, that it'll be just, hopefully, because this is what I'm waiting for, people of Earth, it'll just be beautiful and magical and just gorgeous for both, a beautiful experience for both that man and I. And I don't know who they are, because, I am in love with a man and I have told him that, but he's not available. So I can't be, I can't be wrecking other people's existence just for a bit of a, a bit of a frottering. It's not cricket, it's not cool, it's not fair. And it's not fair on me either, because the gods keep sending me these gorgeous young men to stir me up and just see if I'm alive down under here. And as I joked with them, "My boys, you're in danger. Don't flirt too much. Don't activate the last hormone." Well, we laughed and we laughed and we laughed. Those two sweet lads and I. They got the joke. They got the joke. It's not a complete joke based on the fact that I'm saving my sexual energy for the one, a man of high caliber, a king to my queen, a man who can handle me, a man, well, I don't want to be handled, but what do I mean by that? A man who can respect me and treat me with honour and integrity and deep, deep love. That kind of handling. Don't want to be controlled by anyone, because that gives me the heebie-jeebies and the ick factor, and any sex we had will be cut off at the knees and I go back to celibacy again. It's not so bad. I've done it for about 30 years of my existence. It's really not that bad. Even though I whine about it a lot, it's not that bad. Survived this way a long, long time. It's probably the only reason I have survived. So I can be grateful to the gods that they preserved my body autonomy and my integrity and my heart and my light. Very, very carefully preserved. I wish they'd do something about my lungs. They told me in my last lung function test that my lungs are healthy. I call bullshit on that, given how rattly I am in the chest. But it's the CPAP blowing into my lungs. I told my psychiatrist it didn't work for me in 2003, and I fought it like a demon. And here's the proof is in the pudding, right? Me gasping for fucking air. But hopefully it's a temporary thing. And I have to tell myself that I'm healing, that I'm powerful, that I'm deeply loved, and that my own body is coming into perfect alignment, and that the CPAP will work, and I'll get better and better and better, so I can have my beautiful life with my beautiful man, whoever declares his heartfelt intentions towards me and is willing to build a life with me. Can't build a life when you're half fucking dead all the time. Trust me on that one. Although I used to try. I did. I used to actually try to be in relationships with people. And how did I get treated? Almost fucking murdered. So no, I'm waiting for the one. A man of deep love for me, who wants me alive as much as my psychiatrist wants me alive, and will hold me up in his arms with great honour and integrity and deepest, most heartfelt love and joy and peace and harmonic resonance too. Can't have someone that wants to fight and fuck me and upset me all the time. We will be lovers, and there will be love making at the appointed time. No fight or fuck dynamics that's destructive and sordid and disingenuous and dishonouring of the Tanya. Am I right? I'm right. Anyway. Life goes on, babies. Life goes on. Every day in every way. I'm holding my line, staying in love with the ones I choose to be in love with and sloughing off the rest. But yes, there was something very spiritual about those two young lads. Very spiritual. I'm still kind of processing it. They'll turn up again. They were nice boys. I'm sure they'll come to dance with me again. There was a lot of young people dancing around me on Friday night. There was another beautiful young girl too. She was lovely. And then a couple that were a little bit younger than me, not too much younger, and they were a lovely couple. Enjoyed my company too. So some nights the magic just happens, and I'm glad I had that beautiful experience, you know, with all the characters that came to join me in my wild shamanic dance. It was soul nourishing on a feedback loop between each human. So the gods were with me powerfully on Friday night. Of that I am convinced. Can't remember where we were up to when I bloody segued. Oh, but Jesus, sorry about that. I'm not that well, as you can tell. Ah, yes, I had just read back in 2023 about wanting Beauregard back, and I had just said that I feel deeply furious and traumatised, but I remind myself that his spirit can come back to me in a millisecond. Here we are, back in the room. Back in the room, people of Earth. The memories flood my brain with delightful antics and his long, deeply loving, intense regard or gaze. He was a great, great spirit who like all other dogs, was deeply loving, but saw through the occasional bullshit too. He was magic. He was joy. He was comfort. Margot brought the children to comfort me yesterday evening. Little Susie asked me in great awe, "Are you a real witch, Tanya?" I replied good-naturedly, "Yes, but not like the ones you see in Disney movies." Oh, my bloody laptop's misbehaving again. But not like the ones you see in Disney movies with long, crooked noses and talons for fingers, shrieking, "I will get you, little Susie, and your little dog too." Witches are ordinary people who love and love too much sometimes, and like ordinary people, we get hurt and angry too when someone harms us, so we can become mean too. The trick is to never let awfulness turn us ugly. But Mama T is a real witch. And do you know how I know, Susie? How? Well, Susie, around lunchtime, I was working on a silver ring to distract me from the pain I am in right now. A little voice said to me, "You will get a lovely surprise later." But I said to my little voice with great bitterness, "Don't be ridiculous. No one loves me. Beauregard is dead, and all I have left is Charlie, and there are no surprises coming." I joked, "Nobody loves me. Everyone hates me. Think I'm gonna eat worms." Margot interjected, "They don't know that song yet." I smiled, realizing I was descending into darkness like a whirlwind of insanity. "Pull up, pull up," I said. "Oh, well, anyway, Susie." I looked up at the ceiling with deep reverence. "You see, I am grateful to that spirit or angel or intuition in my head, as for once they did not lie, because here you are visiting me and gifting me with meals and snacks, and that was indeed a lovely, lovely surprise. So thank you, my love." Then I told her that not just witches can get intuitions or inspirations or guidance, but anyone. Everyone is psychic. It just takes practice to learn to recognize the messages when they come. She nodded, set about making something with a piece of foam I still had lying on the table. So I got her some rubber bands to twist the foam thing with, while Evie, it's her bigger sister, put the rubber band on her finger, and I adjured her to never do that, as it will cut off her circulation and cause a clot or blockage in her veins, and it's how sheep get their tails taken off, also certain breeds of dogs. She did it anyway, and her finger turned purple, and she said it hurt, and I smiled and said, "See, now you know It's not a good idea. When they left, I said to Evie, "Do you want to take a colourful rubber band home?" She looked at me all serious and said, "No, as I will be tempted to wear it again and might hurt myself." I laughed. Wise move, Evie. I had also told them rather whimsically that wearing a rubber band on your wrist and flicking it every time you thought about a friend or boyfriend that doesn't love you anymore was a good way to get over them. But I said, I tried that once, and every time you think of that awful person who hurt you, you flick the rubber band, and the pain of it on your wrist helps you soon forget the person. Did it work? Asked Evie. Not really, Evie. I just got a sore wrist instead of an aching heart. But I love too much and am stubborn like that. Then we all laughed. My God, those children are getting a weird education from me. But as children often do. Like Beauregard, it's done it again, keeps throwing it to the beginning of the piece. Oh, this bloody laptop. But as children often do, like Beauregard, they see through the bullshit and fly straight to the core of what really matters in my absurdist, magical world. The love. 11:11 a.m. Make a wish. I wish that the sadistic othering of poor people ends. That my dog had not been tortured by medical neglect for 3 days by so-called professionals. That he had not died at the hands of insensate, robotic monsters. That I could have saved him in time. That I had had more money so I could have found kinder vets instead of that monstrosity of a charity. I wish the zombie apocalypse would end too. I am grateful for true friends, loyal loves, and the gifts of my little girls and my big girl last night. Jared is on his way over to visit me this arvo. I am slammed with grief and exhaustion, but I know I am loved. I was cleaning up a silver ring I made a bit of a mess of yesterday. I threw it in the pickle. Then when I took it out, it had a smudge of black staining in the shape of a heart. It's just being naughty. Why is it being so naughty? Let's try again. It just keeps jumping back and I can't focus. Now it won't let me scroll at all. Try escape. Ah, dear goddess. Dear, dear goddess. Right, here we go. No. Why is it doing this? I'm running out of ideas on how to actually read this bloody thing now because it just won't behave. Let's try this. And I'm not well, and this is a struggle, by the way. It wasn't a struggle till it stopped working. I was flying through all right, wasn't I, babies? Oh, dear goddess. It really won't let me in. Let's see what this does. No, it keeps scrolling back to the beginning. I don't know how to fix it. Maybe reload current page. Try that. No, I've tried that now 20 times. Last time I clicked on the window, and it kind of did something, but no, it's not doing anything now. We don't have time for this nonsense. This is just nonsensical interruptus driving me to this. Well, all right, we'll have to stop there and I'll have to go out and come back in, shut it down and come completely back in. So part 1 of readings of 4th of August 2024, we were up to me seeing the heart shape in the silver ingot I have melted. I'll try to remember that when I come back in. Bye for now. Be back shortly with part 2.